Hi, I'm Timmy. And welcome to Sidelick Town. Today in Sidelick Town, we'll see what happens when Mike robs the Grease Galley. And Mac will choose the best licks to help him. But first, Nick is feeling lonely. Times were changing in Sidelick Town. New licks were constantly visiting, and as you might already know, everyone has some garbage to get rid of. With more licks, more garbage came in. Now, most of the special errands involved garbage. Jeff and Oscar collected garbage. Ray and Tommy collected garbage. And can you guess what Billy and Timmy collected? That's right, garbage. Nick had a free day and wanted to spend it with his friends. "Jeff! Oscar!" he cried. "Please, wait! I have the day off. Do you want to spend it with me?" he asked. Even though they had work to do, Jeff and Oscar would usually agree to meet up later. But the foul-smelling rubbish put them in bad moods. "We have work to do," snorted Jeff. "I'll tell you if the garbage production ever halts," teased Oscar. Jeff and Oscar rolled away. Nick walked up to Ray and Tommy. "Do you two want to have the day off with me?" asked Nick. "Go away, Nick," they both shouted. Finally, he asked his friends Billy and Timmy, but they didn't want to spend the day either. Nick felt very sad. He thought to himself, "Why doesn't anyone like me anymore? Are they just tired of plain old me?" Suddenly, an idea popped in under his toupee. "Maybe, if I can show them some fun, they'll want to spend time with me again," he said to himself. Nick decided to start telling jokes. He knew everyone liked a good laugh. As Oscar and Jeff waited, he told them a joke. One card said to the other, "I bet there's one load I could take that you couldn't ever carry." "What's that?" asked the other. "Just hop in my basket and I'll carry you." Oscar and Jeff thought the joke was funny. They rolled off with fresh smiles. Later, he told the riddle to Ray and Tommy. But they either didn't get it, or they still weren't in the mood. They snorted and rode off. All day, Nick got mixed reactions to his jokes. But he was at least happy that some of the licks liked joke-telling Nick. The next day, Corey assigned a job that wasn't about garbage. It was a defective load on its way back to the factory. Nick hadn't yet been to the factory, and he was eager to see it. But when he asked for the job, Corey said it wasn't right for him. He was stunned. He complained about it to Ray. "It seems as if Mr. Jokes is now a whole new Nick." "If that's one of your riddles," snapped Ray, "then go away, Mr. Dumb Jokes." Ray stormed away, leaving Nick sad again. He then tried to explain his troubles to Jeff and Billy. "How do you find such funny jokes?" asked Jeff. "I'm not joking," cried Nick. "I'm serious now." Nick was beginning to think this wasn't his brightest idea. He spoke to his father, who had been waiting for Nick to see sense. "Well, I'm guessing that the old Nick wasn't too bad, eh?" muttered Corey. "But how do I bring him back and send Mr. Dumb Jokes packing?" asked Nick. "Think about it," said Corey. "What would normal Nick do?" "Well, I would usually apologize for my faults," said Nick, and then try to make up for it. "That's exactly what I would recommend," agreed Corey. When Nick apologized for not being himself, the others weren't sure to believe him. But then, he offered to take the leftover garbage to the scissor yard for them, even though he had been offered a chance to go to the factory. The Sidelicks were very happy. Not only were they glad to be rid of the rubbish, but to have Nick back to normal. Later, Nick apologized to one more person. "I'm sorry for not being myself," apologized Nick. "I see now that I'd take being not always liked by everyone instead of being a fool any day." "Well, I'll always like you," said Corey, "and so does the rest of the family. And as long as you're proud of that and yourself, that's really all that matters." Today, Mac had some loads shipped to his restaurant. He purchased a small box with buns, a medium-sized box with French fries, and a large box with hamburger patties. He'll need help getting the boxes into his kitchen. Who do you think should help him? First, he sees Billy. Can Billy help Mac? And if so, which box should he carry? Yes, Billy should take the small box. He isn't too strong, but carrying buns is no problem for him. Next, Jeff drives by. Jeff is done with his shopping and offers to help. Which box should he take? Yes, Jeff is the right leg to carry the medium-sized box. But there's one more box left to move. Jeff is busy, and even if he weren't, that box would be too heavy for him. But who's that? It's Quentin. Will Quentin be able to help? That's right. Quentin is Sidelec World's strongest Slick. He is the perfect one to take the heavy box of hamburger patties. Mac now has all his boxes in the kitchen. Thank you for helping him choose who should help. Well done, everyone. It was a peaceful morning in Sidelec Town. At this hour, not very many Sidelecs are awake. This is usual, but it isn't too good of news. This gives Mike the chance to cause mischief without being caught. Mac was still asleep, and because Mac and Mike were brothers, Mike knew exactly where everything was in the grease galley, including all of the money. He broke the cash register and snuck out all of the money he wanted. He hid it in his pocket and crept away. Luckily, Corey was on guard. "What are you doing up so early, Mike?" he asked. I was just making sure no one was causing trouble," responded Mike. "That's my job, thank you," huffed Corey. "Besides, it'd be a little hard to watch over yourself, eh?" "Well, I didn't ask you. I'll see you later," said Mike. As Mike began walking home, Corey spied the money he was taking out. "Halt! You've been caught red-handed," accused Corey. "Or should I say green-handed." "You're not going to just arrest me here, are you?" asked Mike. "I don't want to cause a fuss," said Corey, "so you'll sit in the timeout bench until your brother awakes. Then you can give him his money." "Fine," agreed Mike. "I'll do that. After you catch me." Mike hopped onto a cart. Then he shoved it into motion, and soon he was speeding out of town. Corey was prepared, though. He pulled out his car and chased after him. "I'd better catch him before Mac wakes up," he told himself. The last thing he needs to make him nervous is knowing that his own brother robs him in his sleep. Corey raced along the tallest of the world's mountains. He passed a beautiful forest and even caught a glimpse of a waterfall. But he was on a mission. He reached the scissor yard. The spooky sight was the perfect place for Mike to hide. If it weren't for the blatant frown in the pile, Corey would have driven right by. "I'm stopping you now," he told Mike. But Mike leapt out of the rubbish and back to his cart. "I hope you enjoyed your trip here," he taunted, "because you'll have to take it again in order to stop me." Corey was furious. And the sun was beginning to rise. He knew that there was no way he could stop Mike before Mac woke up. But then he had a better idea. One Sidelec, even I, could never stop a madman like Mike, he told himself. But what about 2, or 3, or 4? That's the solution. Corey rolled back to town. He was going to get his friends to wake up and help him. When Jeff, Ray, and Billy were fully awake, they had a meeting. "In order to catch this criminal," began Jeff, "we'll need a plan." "Billy, you haven't eaten that bag of oatmeal yet, have you?" asked Jeff. "Yeah, I still have that," he replied. "And Ray, you still have your pranks kit, correct?" "Of course I do," replied Ray. "Right then," he finished, "let's go stop that burglar." The 4 licks set up a trap. When Mike ran into the rope across the floor, it would let go and drop a huge bag of oatmeal. Mike raced forward with his cart. He plowed into the cord, but it didn't break. Instead, it tripped the cart. Mike fell flat on the ground. and the stolen money fell out and went over to Jeff. "Good work, everyone," Corey congratulated. "Now I'll get Mike to the timeout bench." But Corey didn't notice that the prank was still set. Corey," muttered Jeff, "wait." But it was too late. He accidentally stepped on the cord, which sent the oatmeal falling. He was a big mess. The others couldn't help but laugh. "Oh well," he sighed, "at least now I can get some well-deserved rest." And once Mike was safe, that's just what he got.